All right, so game one in a best of three featuring the UNT Eagles versus Murky Disco for Chair League Season 4 Playoff Week 1 on Tomb of the Spider Queen. What's your favorite band here, Mystic?
Well, of course, we have to ban the Ragnaros.
Rag's got to be
that
banned,
bandwagon.
right? Rag's got to be banned. Rag is the most ban-worthy band of bands, right?
I would say, I don't know, during these chair league games, does he even exist?
Yes. There have been a couple of games that I have spotted in the wild that do have Ragnaros being played. Not very many, but a few. So,
Yeah, there aren't very many. From what I've seen, he's always banished to the elemental planes. He's never on the Nexus.
no, he's always in the elemental planes. But we do have UNT Eagles taking their time with this first ban. I tend to think we're not going to see a Ragnaros ban when they take that long. And hovering Gul'dan, so maybe not. No, the Sylvanas ban. Sylph can get your your spiders a lot more value, so I kind of understand that ban.
Now this move from the UNT Eagles forces Murky Disco. Murky Disco. Yeah, there we go. Got tongue tied there. On whether or not they decide to ban the Ragnaros, or do they give it up to UNT Eagles?
Or do we see maybe a Tassadar ban or a Zarya ban? Zarya really strong in this map. Shields cannot be overlooked in the current meta, but we do see a Gul'dan ban. Gul'dan has probably the best wave clear on this map, to be fair.
Now, do we see the Ragnaros first pick, or do we see something like Johanna? I've been seeing Johanna quite a bit lately, and she's strong on this map as well. So
Johanna is strong on this map. This is probably my favorite map to take Johanna on, personally. The wave clear, the ability to enable your team to destroy a wave even faster with and we do get the Tassadar pick. I like that. Shields just, you cannot underrate or overrate shields. Like, they changed the game.
Now with those task nerfs, let's see how this goes. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, with the, what is it, 3 seconds to kill somebody now?
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, the duration on a shield is now 5 seconds instead of 8 seconds, and the cooldown of it is still 8 seconds. So like Liquid said, there's the 3-second window where you can kill your target that doesn't have the shield.
Arthas Lucio, I like that pick. Arthas is still super strong. Lucio enables Arthas to get in and out of battle faster and safer. And I mean, can we just say props to the Master Lucio skin? Because I love that skin. Yeah. I kind of like how Murky Disco responded to the Tassadar. But the shields are still there. So even though you have 3 seconds, those shields still exist.
I really like this combo myself because Arthas really benefits from having a lot of speed via Stim Drone or Lucio speed up. And, the Arthas just charging into your team really fast and slowing your entire team down is pretty scary.
All right, so going with the standard Vala that pairs very, very well with the Tassadar. And there's the Ragnaros. My friend, the Rag you were looking for does exist. That's a really solid damage on the side of UNT Eagles. Really solid damage.
A Ragnaros on the Tomb of the Spider Queen, too.
That he can reach from first fort, like mid-fort to mid-fort, can't he? I'm pretty sure that range is there. Mid-fort.
Pretty close.
Not the top, but oh man. My favorite tank, who's about to get slightly changed with 2.0, gets banned out. I'm talking about, of course, the ETC. I love that cow. definitely my favorite tank in the game right now. And I love that ban that they're hovering right now. Hopefully UNT Eagles does ban that out, because the addition of a Zarya to Arthas Lucio, like, soups that up so much. So, I kind of like where UNT's taking this right now.
Yeah, they have a really solid draft so far. They're just lacking some tanks, and I think Murky Disco is looking to pick up one more tank here, maybe, or they could be going for the solo Arthas.
I think one of these two teams, I feel like, is gonna pick up Sonya for the solo laner. Now I know Ragnaros can solo lane very, very effectively. Rag can also be with the team really effectively, and I really dig Sonya lately as a solo laner. So I'd like to see what happens there, and see if I definitely feel like one of these two teams is gonna pick up the Sonya. Johanna and Chromie.
Chromie.
Cannot downplay the Chromie damage, because it will come out and it will get you.
Now this discourages the UNT Eagles from picking up more melee because of the potential Chromie slowing Sands.
That's true. That's a very good point. That's a really good point, actually. But they need a frontliner, right? So they have to go at least one melee. And maybe you say, you know what, we're divey enough, and you go double melee and say, we're just going to kill that Chromie anyway. Right? It's a possibility. Yeah. Starting to see a lot more Chromies, though, which makes me happy. I feel like she was underrepresented for a long time in the Nexus. UNT going deep. Oh, there it is.
The Murden.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Murden's tanky, the tankiest tank in the game. Also running a great skin, so props to the Murden player on UNT Eagles. I love that skin. I prefer it in black, but all three colors are great.
The hunt is
And the Lunara. That is a ton of damage coming out from the boys and girls in Murky Disco. A ton of damage. So if you picked a draft winner here, who do you think you would pick there?
I'd like to give it to Murky Disco, actually.
Okay, all right. So speaking of, for the red team Murky Disco, we do have Arya on Lucio, Houdini on the Chromie, Battle Pope V2 on Johanna, The Process on Arthas, and Boop Doop on Lunara.
And for the UNT Eagles, we have Calgair on Murden, Akin on Rhaegar, Z Fury on Vala, Arms of Gold on Tassadar, and Legacy EX on Ragnaros.
I don't know how it always works out, but you always get the Duffer names. And I don't even pick it that way. It just works out that way, because I always do red, you always do blue, and it seems like you always end up with the tougher names. I like this draft, though. I like both drafts, but I do have to agree with you. I think Murky Disco might have won this draft.
Prepare yourselves. The battle begins shortly.
All right. So it does look like we might get a split right away from Murky Disco, with Arthas going bottom lane, the rest of the 4 members of Murky Disco coming out mid to face 5 members of UNT Eagles. At least that's how they are lined up at the gate. We'll see how they actually come out running. And yes, we do. 5-on-4 to begin. And Tassadar's No. His D showing everybody where they are. And thus begins the Dance of Doom. Alright, Ragnaros already rotating bottom to challenge Arthas. And it does look like we're going to get a double four-man rotation here from both teams. UNT Eagles rotating slightly faster, but Lunara already soaking top lane. I think that Murden Stomp plus the Valid W is just like destroying. I guess Rhaegar's also in there. UNT Eagles clearing those waves pretty quick though.
Don't forget those Psionic Storms.
Yeah, alright. I guess Tassadar doing some damage too.
Everybody forgets the supports.
I called Rhaegar out. XP about the same. Gems about the same. Bottom lane, Arthas versus Ragnaros. Slight edge to Arthas, but like, I mean, we're talking like they just happen to be on the UNT Eagle side of the 50-yard line right now. So nothing that's really serious.
You know, UNT Eagle sounds like a football team.
It is. The Eagles is the name of the University of North Texas's
Oh, is this
team.
the same team?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if
Arthas-
this is the
Arthas
dorm
gets
team.
ganked.
Arthas
Goes
did get
down.
ganked there, so I was sure, at least you guys saw that on camera while I was instructing Mystic in the ways of UNT. I don't know if this is the dorm team. I do know that UNT is the Eagles.
Well, forgive my ignorance of these.
If you listen, if you didn't live in Texas, I can understand not being aware of it. Maybe I'm sure the UNT Eagles would be disappointed that I said I could forgive that simply because, you know, why would I let that go? But Lunara rotating down, and it looks like we're gonna have a swap. Arthas going mid lane to rotate with 4. Lunara possibly solo laning, or are we gonna get a 5-man, a 5-on-4 looking for a gank opportunity here? Looks like Murky Disco's just looking to make something work here. It does look like Lunara is going to stay bottom against the Ragnaros. I think Lunara wins that fight personally. Could be wrong. But while the double tank in the 4-man rotation is nice, Arthas doing a little bit of damage and a little bit more CC, I think they're gonna have wished they kept the Lunara for the damage. Although, as I say that, Chromie is helping her team chunk down Murden to, you know, let's say 40% health, so... neither team has quite enough to turn in, but Johanna trying to sneak a turn in is not... Oh, is going to finish it.
I think this is a good fight for Murky Disco because Ragnaros was forced to back.
And Vala took a huge chunk of damage. Damage going out. Murden getting body blocked. Murden might go down here, and that's 11 gems going down for UNT Eagles, giving Murky Disco a decided advantage. And Lunara is still putting a lot of pressure on that Ragnaros in the bottom lane. Murky Disco decidedly winning that bottom lane now. Not enough that they're like pushed in to, you know, take the wall down, but enough that they're taking shots off the wall at this point. And Murky Disco does have enough to turn in, so I would be watching for them to finish that turn in. Looks like Arthas is holding those gems and start their first spider wave. Lunara coming up and starting to spread damage. This could be another kill against the UNT Eagles. Man, they're just chunking Murden so low and Rhaegar so low.
Rhaegar might go down here to the poison.
So much
shields come
damage.
out.
Between Chromie's damage and Lunara's spread damage, Murky Disco is really just putting out a ton of pressure for Rhaegar and Tassadar to try and heal through.
Definitely.
And while Tassadar and Rhaegar can do the job, like, that's a lot of damage to heal through. And here we go. First Web Weavers descending. We do have level 7 talents versus level 6 talents. Lucid Hots, I was already pressing the key as you were asking. I was just waiting for them to hit the level 7. So it does look like we're going to get a 5-man push top lane. Or 4-man rather, while Lunara is bottom lane against that Ragnaros. I'm expecting at least walls on all 3 lanes here for Murky Disco. Is that an overzealous prediction, or what do you think? I mean, top wall's already down.
I think with Vala here, I think they'll probably be able to defend under the fort. Yeah, especially.
Arth is so low and is gonna go down there. Johanna's staying in though. I know she's looking for that kill on Rhaegar, but Johanna might go down here as well. Murky Disco getting just a little bit greedy there and losing 2 heroes. Bottom wall is down. Lunara worked the middle wall down and was now working that fort with the spiders, but is going to back out after being warned that a gank attempt was imminent on her life. That was still a good push by Murky Discos, even with the 2 deaths.
Yeah.
Right, all 3 walls are down, and now they can start trying to collect gens for the next turn in. In the meantime, I think we're going to see UNT Eagles try and get a turn in here as well. Taking a lot of damage in the process, though, and 10 is not that far off for the boys and girls in Murky Discos.
Yeah, the longer you stay in situations like this, the longer Lunara is going to wear you down with all that poison
With all
damage.
that poison, and she is spreading it like a champ, getting a ton of damage out on Rhaegar, Vala, Tassadar. So Murky Disco still working to try and get to that crucial 55 so they can get a turn in. Lunara floating around, pushing lanes, trying to keep UNT
Murky
Eagles
Disco
from
does
getting a
have
turn
10.
out.
However, they do isolate this Lunara and look to take
And
her out.
They got her. That was a great isolation between Murden, Vala, and Tassadar to kill that Lunara.
In the meantime, Murky Disco's like, well, you can have the Lunara. We'll just
We'll
take
take
the
a
bottom
fort.
fort over here.
So that's actually 2 forts down for UNT Eagles, and that top fort is about half health right now. So shaping up nicely for Murky Disco, but it does look like we're gonna get an engage here. Both teams on their 10s. Heroic abilities being popped. Vala going in deep with her strafe. Sulfurous Smash coming out, getting a stun. Vala going down first in this exchange. But a lot of members of both teams are really low. That's
Oh,
going
we
to be
got
a
Falling Sword
Murden,
here.
Falling Sword, and a dead Rhaegar. That was a great CC. Should be a dead Ragnaros as well. Only Tassadar is going to escape. That was a good fight for Murky Disco, but now they have to defend against a set of Webweavers that are out. And
I like a combination of the Bloodlust plus the Archon. However, most of that damage was funneled onto the front tanks.
Right. And Arthur's Johanna just kind of shook it off. I mean, they took the damage and they got low, but not enough to get a kill in. I also think, while... Oh, that was a dead Lunara. I was just jumping up there to see... Looked like she was about to get ganked. While I think that fight went well for Murky Disco, I think the better thing for them was the defense was so easy. Because most of UNT Eagles were dead, they just cleared the spiders. And other than Lunara getting caught out right there, it really did seem like a pretty easy defense on the side of Murky Disco. And 13's right around the corner for Murky Disco. And it looks like UNT Eagles is trying to decide where they want to engage next. Murky Disco does have enough to turn in, and everybody is popping their abilities looking to get kills. Tassadar really low there.
Well, Murden might go down. Forced to pop Avatar. He might still go down here.
Should go down here, yeah. 13s were achieved for Murky Disco, and they are trying to take advantage of that. Alright, this is the right call. I was hoping they would boss here, and it looks like they might. Or they might just take out this fort. I'm actually good with either choice. Looks like fort it is. Oh, and looking for a kill. Johanna diving deep and picking off Vala. Alright. Now's a good time to boss. And it looks like they agree, so we're going to get boss. You know, with where Murky Disco is positioned right now, they could quickly pull boss and then immediately turn in and get Spiderweb or Web Weavers plus boss pushing that top lane. But UNT Eagle's not going to take this line down, looking to come in already. A lot of damage going out onto that Arthas. And there's Sulfurous Smash. Arthas is going to go down first. Lucio really low, has to abandon his team, and that's going to allow more kills to happen. But UNT is going to lose 2 in the process. Both Tassadar and Rhaegar are dead.
Oh, not being able to take out the Lunara was pretty big.
Oh, man. The poison. That's what just happened. All right, so everybody but Ragnaros is dead. Lunara's poison really doing work there. 13 for both teams. Like, Ragnaros can't really do anything except for push in and maybe try to take this fort here. And wait for the rest of his team to respawn. That battle had a lot going on.
Yeah, that there's a reason why that that area is called the throw pit, right?
Right, and it was a throw pit that time. Alright, so 23 gems. Ragnaros was able to get his gems turned in and off of him, so that's good. So Furious Smash getting a decent amount of value there for Ragnaros. 16's right around the corner for Murky Disco. I would not be surprised to see them just pick up camps and clear waves in an effort to get level 16 as quickly as possible. Ragnaros, though, might be caught out here. Only Joe down here right now. But there's no fort for him to use. The rest of Murky Disco rotating down, looking to maybe help secure that kill. Not going to happen, though. So, Murky Disco appears to be just looking for a fight.
They are almost 16. They don't have enough gems to turn in, so...
Still some camps on the map, though. But 16 is about to hit, and that chunk damage on Vala. Wow, that looked painful. And here comes the 16. I would not be surprised to see an engage, and there is damage going out, but Vala going down first.
A falling sword used.
Nobody caught in that. But we do have our 16s.
Got taken down, trying to use a cheeky strafe off to the side. Got taken out by Lunara Poison and Chromie.
Absolutely, and now everybody backing out, looking to do something different. Neither team has enough gems to turn in, but it does look like Lucio's going to go ahead and drop his 1 gem he has off. Lanes will be cleared. Top lane de-pushed. Lunara, though, could be in a bad spot down here. We're going to go ahead and follow her for a minute, because I see at least 3 members of UNT thinking about moving down on her. Instead, we're going to have a little engage mid lane. Rhaegar getting chunked by that Chromie damage. And Murden jumping over the wall to get away and make sure he can safely walk away from this fight. Caster math is hard, but I think that's enough gems. Yes, that is definitely enough gems. Once Lunara turns in, that will be another Orb Weaver wave going over to Murky Disco. Murden kind of baiting a little bit here. He was not alone. Oh, falling sword coming out. Ragnaros might be killed here, but cleanse is used. Ragnaros still taking a ton of damage. Poison might get him, and Chromie finishes him off. That was a great kill for Murky Disco.
Oh, Chromie also gets Rhaegar.
Rhaegar sniped. No scope. That was impressive. And we might see first keep of the game go down here. Murky Disco pushing in on this bottom lane like they really mean it. Orb Weaver's showing up right behind. That's going to be a basically full health Web Weaver pushing in on the core. And it does look like... Yes, okay, so Murky Disco is going to just move over to the other keep and look to get just super keep value out of this. And that's 2 keeps down. I don't think they're going to migrate around third to that third keep. I kind of expect them to try and look for a kill and push core. But maybe not. A lot of damage coming out on both sides.
Over here. Break it down is used.
Tassadar almost dead from poison. Alright. Oh! Chromie is dead. Johanna got Vala pretty low. Tassadar still pretty low. Murky Discos is taking a lot of damage here, though.
Falling Sword used to retreat.
I think that was more defensively trying to zone for the rest of Murky Discos as they were trying to back out as well. They are going to successfully back out of this fight. And that's not a bad spider wave. All 3 keeps are down. And you still had Siege Giants pushing the bottom, bringing that core to 59%. However, UNT does have enough gems to turn in, but is this going to be a cheeky boss? We do have 16s versus 20, but it looks like UNT's just going to go boss and try to pull this off. Lunar spotting it out, so it is known that UNT is on the boss.
Oh, they're ignoring it,
They're going straight
core.
core. I actually like this decision a lot. So even if UNT gets that boss, all of Murky Disco's on the core. Now, if UNT can wipe Murky Disco, 20 versus 17 is kind of hard to do, then they could win here. But everybody is popping everything and looking to get kills. Lunar doing a ton of damage. That is going to be game number 1 going over to Murky Discos.